Good morning, guys. I just wanted to tell you what I'm planning for my next live with Ramon. So, as you know, we already did one live, and what we did was we were teaching people how to read tarot intuitively, basically, right? Just by looking at the images of the cards, telling a story, and relating it to the question that was asked, okay? Now, I think people mentioned it in the chat in the live about doing one with court cards because people are so stressed about court cards, and people said it in the comments on the live afterwards, right? So what I got in my head was that we need to do a live with just the court cards, okay, and come up with questions whereby the answers that we take from the court cards could be if the person was you, if the person was someone else, or if the court card was giving you advice about a situation, okay? So, but I don't want to jump straight into, hey, show woman. I don't want to jump straight into just asking questions and pulling court cards. I actually want to do a little bit of a lesson on the court cards first, right? So I just want to show you what I'm surrounded by here, right? Because I thought, okay, for this, I need to make notes, right? I have big plans for this live. Now, I did, when I woke up this morning and I started making my notes, I did email Ramon straight away and said, look, I think we could do our next live together, our next tarot lesson live. I've been burning incense and the smoke is getting to me. Do our next tarot lesson live on the court cards. And I told him how I want to do it, that I want to do a bit of info first so that people don't get completely stressed out, and then get into the questions and pulling cards, right? So in front of me, I have loads of things in front of me here now to make a really nice, comprehensive, yet simple as I can document, okay, with all the information that I want to go through on the night. So I have out my court cards from my Jamie Sawyer Redux edition. I have out the court cards from the Cozy Witch Tarot, because this deck has a lovely little phrase for each of the court cards. So the Page of Wands says, just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it'll be effortless, okay? So having the passion of a Wands court card doesn't mean something is going to be easy. You do still have to work. And I do also have the court cards out from my Golden Art Nouveau. Now, the reason I have court cards out from 3 different decks is because the images are slightly different. I can get different bits of information from each one of them, and there is one deck that has sentences on it anyway, So I have them out in front of me to look at while for inspiration for my notes. I also have a notebook where I've been writing stuff since I woke up this morning. So I was just making a list of the things I need to make points on for each of the court cards. So the suit element, the court element, the court energies, hey Sarah, oh my god, what's that? Something of elements. The speed of the elements, the star signs, the astrological attributions, and the elemental dignities, right? So these are just some bits and pieces I want to make notes on. I also have, Sarah, I can't believe, I was literally only thinking of you in the last day or two. I was like, Jesus, I haven't heard from her in so long. Delighted you popped in to say hello. I'm just discussing my next live with Ramon from Moon Scarab. We're going to be doing one on court cards made easy. So I also have this document. Now, this document is readily available for free online. You can download it and you can print it off. And as you can see, I have it laminated, so it'll be kept good, right? So it's Holistic Tarot Supplement, and it's Benabel Wen. So just Google Benabel Wen, tarot documents, and you'll find this, and you can download and print it off. So it gives you all the astrological attributions, etc., and some keywords down the end, right? So that's the majors. But then when you get to the minors, here we are with the court cards, right? So here's the Page of Wands. It tells you that it's fire. The page is earth, and then it gives you the symbols there, the elemental symbols, and a few keywords. And then there's the knight, the queen, or the knight, the queen, and the king down the back. So I'm going through all these documents to get different information to make a nice document with all the info, right? So Sarah says, I know I had a phone that didn't have a lot of storage, so I was having problems. I'm so glad I can reach out to you again now. Oh, delighted. Does that mean you have a new phone? So can I contact you again on WhatsApp, or what's the story? Because I missed our chats. Yeah. So now I also have this book out to take notes from. So it's Tarot Court Cards for Beginners by Lisa Robertson. Now in this book, just to mark the page, do you know when you get the spare cards in a deck, right? So I cut out a piece of paper the same size as the card, and I write information. Hey Fatima, I write information that I want to have handy with me. So I've a load of these cards in my bag when I'm going out with my tarot cards with different information on them. So as you can see, I have the 12 star signs here on what court card they're related to. So the knights, queens, and kings are all related to one court card. The pages then cover the three. So like here, for example, we have the knight of, or where are we? The knight of cups, the queen of cups, and the king of cups, right? So the page then would cover Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces, do you know? So the page covers the three of them, okay? How are you, Nancy? I just watched your video on the naming of your beautiful dragon. I love it. Delighted you finally found the name. Check out that video, lads. So I have this card out for more information on the court cards. This beautiful book too, the courts card book that I showed you, has lovely information on the court cards here, right? So I'm just going to take bits from this little basic introductory paragraph, right? So it says, Page of Pentacles is the child of Earth. And then there's a little kind of a phrase or a saying, a little bit of a poem. And then it says, personification of Earth, zodiac signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, keywords, careful, practical, and consistent. So again, I'm going to go through the information for each of the court cards in this book and see what jumps out of me to kind of put in my little document that I'm going to make for this live I'm going to do with Ramon, right? Now, lads, Sarah is one of the very first people who was watching my channel way back when. Love, Sarah. So delighted to hear from you. Now, lads, I highly recommend everyone. Hey, Heather. I highly recommend everyone gets this book, The Magic of Tarot by the gorgeous Sasha Graham, right? So this is basically, if you wanted, I think if you want, now I only got this a couple of weeks ago, right? I haven't read it cover to cover or anything, but I know what's in it, and Jesus does everything in it, right? If you want one tarot book, I would highly recommend this one. Now, at the end of the book, she goes through each one of the court cards, right? Now, there's my little business card, look, that I made with all my details on it for my channel. So it says the page. Oh, I'm going to read all of these out to you, actually, right? So there's there's a whole page for each court card, right? And she has a little heading for each court card, which I think tells a lot, right? It's really cool. So the Page of Pentacles is the princess or earth girl. So that would say to me that the Page of Pentacles is just a boy or a girl who's totally into their material do you like the Mean Girls film where they have all these pretty clothes and their hair done and their makeup and they have all the latest phones and all this? This is a Page of Pentacles, right? The Page of Cups is the artsy water girl. I love my business card. Thanks, Heather. The Page of Wands is the good time or fire girl. The Page of Swords is the smart girl. The Knight of Pentacles, rich boy, grounded guy. The Knight of Cups, poet boy, dreamy dude. I love these headings. It just tells so much about each of the court cards. The Knight of Wands is the lover boy, electric spark. And the Knight of Swords, bad boy, gone with the wind. So I love those. Then the Queen of Pentacles is the homemaker. The Queen of Cups is the therapist. The Queen of Wands is the firecracker. Queen of Swords, the businesswoman. King of Pentacles, the CEO. Hey, Leah. The King of Cups is the composer. King of Wands is the rock star. And the King of Swords is the intellectual. Okay. So again, I'm going to go through the information on the court cards at the back of this book and pull out the most important little bits to put into my document, right? Now, the idea behind making this document is that once I finalize the details with Ramon and we have it scheduled, I want to get this document made today if possible, so that anyone who, I know that we had a good few, we'd somewhere between 15 and 20 on the last live. So what I want to do is I'll comment in that live so that everyone who's seen it will kind of see the information. And what I want to do is anyone that knows they'll be able to make the next live about the court cards made easy, I want them to be able to email me and I'll send you this document that I made up with all this information I've pooled together from my cards, from the Benabel Wen document, from my own brain, from videos I've watched on YouTube, from the Tarot Court Cards for Beginners, from the Tarot of Magic of Tarot by Sasha Graham, and from whatever else I've pooled information from. I know that makes it sound like it's going to be a big, crazy, long, complicated document, but it's not. It's going to be all simple, basic stuff, right? I also have a document on my phone, which I made up myself. I was saying to Heather yesterday, I had one of Radley Valentine's tarot decks, either the angel one or the fairy one, and I had pooled all the little key phrases from the bottom of each of the cards into one document, because I got a lot of clarity with relation to the court cards from those cards, you know. I didn't keep the cards, but I wanted to keep the information. So the plan is that I'm hoping to do it next week, but like that, I'm waiting for Ramon to get back to me and let me know. But once it's scheduled, I'll put out the information. I'll obviously schedule it. I'll share it. You'll know it's going to happen. But then I'll ask anyone who thinks they'll be able to make the live to send me an email. My email address is on my info on my channel. You can send me an email, say, I'm going to be at that live. Can you send me the document? And I will send you the document that I've made up with all my nice basic information on the court cards, so that you can make your way through it in the week coming up to the live. And you might feel like you kind of know a bit by the time we get to do it, right? Now, I will fly through some of that information on the night. I don't want to just start the live and jump into questions and pulling court cards and freaking people out. I do want to just go through it on the night and kind of have it fresh in people's minds. And then we get stuck into asking questions and pulling only from the court cards to get answers to our questions. So what do we all think of that? So I just want to fly through there now and see, did I miss anyone? So Sha Woman, we have my gorgeous friend Sarah. You guys wouldn't know Sarah. Sarah was one of the very first people watching my channel. So delighted to have you, Sarah. Yeah, let me know as your phone started, will you? Because I'd love to be chatting to you again. I still love the old WhatsApp messages, you know. We have Fatima. We have Nancy. Shaw Woman. This is great, lads. I love I was kind of thinking at whatever time it is now. What time do I have? Wait until I check. 12:15. I was thinking sure everyone is going to be asleep, but no, some of you are awake. We have Heather. Heather's in the house. Myself and Heather now are live every Tuesday night on Rain's channel, Spiritual Rain. And then we're live on Heather's channel every Wednesday night, Soul Alchemy, doing our true crime. Last night, I have to say, Heather was the most incredible one so far. I just thought we were all so in sync. And I really hope that that video really gets out there, because I would love if we heard from any family members about that. I know her niece did comment on a document, I think was the one you sent me. asking for the case to be kept alive and in hopes of finding who murdered her aunt. So I was kind of half thinking, would I put a reply to the comment and say, come check out my channel, and but I don't know, we'll discuss it. So Fatima is in the house. We have Leah. Leah, it's going to be epic when we do it, the live on the court cards. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to it. As scary as court cards can be, I'm actually looking forward to it. So yeah, that's the plan. So I only wanted to come on and make a little live, just kind of showing you all the stuff I have around me that I'm going to now sit when I'm done with this live and pool all the information together, make one document. It'll probably be a few pages, let's face it. And anyone who thinks that they will be able to make the live then when I have it scheduled, I want you to email me and ask me for the document so that you can go through it and kind of get a bit clued in on the court cards before we do the live. Okay. Just a quick question, right? Yeah, maybe it's not the document you sent me. Maybe it's a different one. What I'll do is I'll get it again, Heather, and I'll send it to you. And just read down the very first comment. It says anonymous, but it says, sorry lads, I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm talking about our true crime case from last night. It was the first comment was an anonymous comment, but it says, "This is my aunt. I hope her case is kept alive for clarity for her family, blah, 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 whatever." So I would love to reply to her, but let me know what you think. Send me an all email. I'll send it on to you first and you can have a look and let me know what you think, because I would love to, like I said, email or reply to the comment and say, look, will you come over and look at what we've done, because obviously I think in that situation, people are only wanting any sort of help, That's all right, Heather. So one quick thing I want to ask you about the court cards, right? So the way, I'm just going to grab 4 cards there now. Hold on. I just want to explain one little thing to you first, right? Now, you may have heard this, you may not have, okay? So do you know the way the wands are fire, okay? The swords are air. I'm just using the pages now for this example. The cups are water. And the pentacles are earth. Now, did you also know that the pages themselves have their own element? Okay. So the pages are the element of earth, because they're about learning, because they're about finding their way. Hey, Ramon. Because they're about finding their way in the world, etc. So when you're looking at the page of wands, the page of wands is the element of fire, but the page is the element of earth. Okay. So you have fire and you have earth here, okay? So the fire element is giving him the drive and the passion to do stuff. But the earth element of the page could make him a bit of a procrastinator. So he may have all these things that he's fire and he's passionate about, but he may find it a bit harder to get up off his arse and do it. Which is why, if you think about it, this page of wands has the key phrase, just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it'll be effortless. So this is saying you might have the passion, but you are going to have to get up off your arse and do it, because the earth element of the page might be slowing you down a bit. Because to me, the fire element is the fastest element, but the page's earth element is the slowest moving element. So you've that kind of push and pull there, that kind of procrastination kind of vibes, So I'm just wondering, does anyone know that that's the situation with the court cards? Like the So the pages are the element of earth, the knights are the element of air, the queens are the element of water, and the kings are the element of fire. Okay, so you have to factor that in as well to the court cards. I'm reading everyone's had no coffee, so I'm assuming this is going over people's head. I would very much think that Ramon has this anyway, because I know you've had all that kind of detail in your tarot lesson videos, or in your court card videos at least. So now it actually does show this. I'd love a cup of tea, Ramon, thanks. So it actually shows in this, right? Jamie put the information in the cards. So in the back of all her cards, she has these beautiful mandalas, and she has the astrological symbols and the elemental dignities hidden, right? So you can see the two triangles here. This one, I believe, is earth, and this one is fire. So it's fire of earth, okay? I've always done pages as earth, knights as fire, queens as water, and kings as air. Yeah, I have seen people switch those two. Yeah. And again, that's completely up to yourself. People read things different ways, but it's just the way I learned it is the one that makes sense to me, you know. That is one of the things that confuses me with court cards. They're each two elements. Yeah. Well, it's not confusing, and I'll go through it. I'll put the information in the document, and I'll go through it on the night when we do the live, and by the end of it, you'll be a dinger. You'll know everything, Heather. I think it just that adds that bit of extra clarity to kind of the personality of each of the people, do you know? So I'm very excited to get that documenting up and running. I keep to just one for now, makes my life easier, lol. Yeah, no, I can understand that too. I'm just thinking now, one that could really, like, if you think about it, right? The Queen of Cups, for example, the queens are water, but the cups is water. So this is water on water. So this is a really overly emotional woman, do you know? You have the King of Cups, who is air. No, he's not. He's fire. And, well, obviously, Sarah reads it differently, but I read the kings as fire, and the cups then is the water. Water will put out fire. If you throw water on a fire, it'll put it out. So his emotions, he might let his emotions take over and drown out his passion to do things. Do you know, that kind of way? So I know it sounds complicated, but once you kind of get your head around it, it does make sense. So I'm going to hold on, I'll hide that. So I'm just going to stick that one up there. And again, people do read things differently. So Sarah reads the pages and the queens the same as me, but then the knights and the kings are swapped, okay? But that's up to each individual. There's no other way of reading. Like, no one mixes up the pages and the queens. They're always the same, but it's the knights and the kings do kind of get switched. There is someone, I'm going to put her name here. Hold on. There we go. On YouTube, Georgina Toland, Elemental Dignities. So she has the video. If you Google or if you YouTube Georgina Toland, Elemental Dignities, she has an amazing tutorial on the elemental dignities and how they kind of relate to each other, how they hate each other, how they work well together, all that kind of stuff. And even as she goes through it, you can kind of make out this little graph for yourself, which explains it all really well. Highly recommend her as well for that video. So I'm going to leave it there, Lance, because we're nearly up on the half hour and I want to get stuck into this document. Ramon, I know you said you're only just awake and you're all saying you haven't had your coffee yet. That's absolutely fine. When you get a chance, Ramona, I have sent you an email with how I went to work this next live that we do together, if you're up for it. Using the court cards. And I am going to, if anyone wants a document with some notes to kind of get a bit of practice in and read up a bit before we do that live, I would love to email it out to you. So my email is on my information on my channel. So check it out, email me, say I'd love that document when it's ready, and I'll email it to you, okay? I definitely see knights as the fire element. Queens are definitely water and kings swords. All the pages can be swords because they're considered messengers, which has to do with communication. And yes, yeah, I can see that making sense too. Yeah. Perfect, Heather. I'm on it. Yeah, you see, to me, like the pages are the two things that the pages represent are bringing messages and learning, because they're a childlike energy. They're kind of up to kind of secondary school, as we'd call it here. They're learning, they're kind of finding their way in the world, they're finding out who they are, they're, finding out who their friends are and who their friends aren't, and all this kind of thing. So for me, the pages are learning, which I would equate to the element of earth, the triple element, yeah. And then the knights I see as anyone from kind of secondary school up, because in secondary school, they're meeting newer friends, they're getting mobile phones, they're going out with their friends, they're meeting all sorts of different people. They're going off to college, they're moving out of home, they're getting jobs. So knights are about movement, okay? And then the queens are about creating a life for yourself, and the kings are about management. So all that. Hey, Christine. Page of Swords description. Did you talk about this card, seeing this card? Okay, so pages I see as bringing messages or learning, right? The Page of Swords, because it's a childlike energy and because it's to do with communication. Do you know the way children, this is one thing that always comes to me with the Page of Swords. Do you know the way children make up little white lies, right? So to me, that's where people often say that the Page of Swords is always about untruths or lies or miscommunication, stuff like that. Children, which is a childlike page energy, kind of tell little white lies. It may be deliberate, it may not be deliberate. You know yourself. So that's what I would say about the Page of Swords. Okay. So if you were asking about someone and the Page of Swords came out, I would say they could be lying to you, you know? They could be, because they're kind of taking a step forward, right? They're moving forward, but they're looking back. So it's like they're trying to kind of hide their face so as not to give away, maybe trying to hide their poker face, trying to keep a straight face while they're lying. Do you know, you can obviously, you have to look into everything. You have to look into the stance, the, what should I call it? The facing, the elemental dignities. Page is earth. The swords is air. You have to look into it all. So I'm not going into all that here. I'm just kind of explaining how I'm putting together a document for my next live on the court cards, you know. The difference in a lot of readers is that some consider swords fire and consider one's air. I think that's where the difference comes in. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I see this with businessmen when I when I inquire the Page of Swords. Good point. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm not going through each individual court card here, but I'm just kind of I went through all my documents and books and everything that I have out here to put together a kind of a comprehensive yet simple document on the court cards to try and make people a little less stressed out about the court cards. But that's the one thing I would say about the Page of Swords, is because it's a child energy. Children tell little white lies. So like that now, if you're asking about businessmen, Christine, and you get the Page of Swords, I would say that maybe they're a bit head in the clouds, maybe they're telling little fibs, that kind of thing. So I hope that makes sense. But look, we'll go into it in more detail, and I'll put more detail into. I'm just seeing who is passing. So I'm going to leave it there, lads, because otherwise we'll be here all day, and I do have to go back to school as well soon to collect children. So thanks a million for being here. Sarah, I'm delighted you're here. I hope you will make the next live that I do. I will have one next Tuesday night and next Wednesday night on other people's channels, on Rain's channel and on Heather's channel. Heather's here, Soul Alchemy. But they will be shared in my community tabs, so you can't miss them. Look them up if you want to join us. And I'm hoping then to do my next live with Ramon next week as well, if he can. So I'll keep you posted anyway, lads. You know yourselves, I'm always putting up videos telling you what's happening when. So thanks a million for being here, guys. And I shall talk to you soon. I know, yeah. Predictive text is the best. Thanks, Heather. Yeah, talk to text. Okay. So thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Ramon. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks. Who did I miss? I didn't miss you. I already mentioned everyone, but thanks, Fatima. Thanks, Leah. I'm just scrolling up to make sure I don't. Woman. I think that's everyone I have. So thank you all, guys, and I shall see you soon.